In this video today on health savings accounts, I want to talk to you about the eligibility of having an HSA. Who is eligible to open and contribute to a health savings account? Now, the IRS has very strict guidelines on who can contribute and own a health savings account. Why the IRS? Because as I've mentioned, the HSA is really a tax benefit. Triple tax benefit for having this account. No taxes paid on the way in, no taxes on the growth, and no taxes when you use it for qualified medical expenses. So the IRS has very strict guidelines about who can contribute and open an HSA account. So let's talk about each of those bullet points. The first is going to be that you need a high deductible health plan. That's going to be the biggest one for most people, that you're covered under a health plan that is known as a high deductible health plan. Now I'm going to get into the specifics of what that means towards the end of this video, but I want to go through some of the other bullet points. One, you have to be 18 years or older, all right, to have an HSA or contribute to an HSA. You need to be not eligible or not claimed as a dependent on anybody else's tax returns. All right, so even if they're not getting exemptions or other health benefits by claiming you, you cannot be claimed as a dependent on anyone else's tax return. All right, now you also need to be not covered under Medicare. You have to have a high deductible health plan and not use the Social Security healthcare system, Medicare, so you can't be covered under Medicare. Now, if you don't live in the US, you could still be eligible. All right, so that's pretty cool. If you work in the US and you're paid in US dollars, if you're a US citizen, you can still be eligible for having an HSA. If you're not a US citizen, but you work in the US and you're paid in US dollars, you might still be eligible for having a health savings account. Look into the details of that. Basically, you can't be covered by your own national insurance coverage. So, for instance, like if you live in Canada, but if you work in the US and you're paid in US dollars, but if you're covered by the National Health Service of Canada, then you're not going to be eligible, okay? So there's certainly details, but if you live outside the US, you could still be eligible. And finally, you cannot have other coverage. So if you have a high deductible health plan, okay, you could qualify, but you can't be covered by other health plans. So you got other non-high deductible health plans. So if you're covered by a couple different health plans, again, dig into the details of that to make sure that you're going to be eligible. Now, do you need the high deductible health plan all year? No, under certain circumstances, depending on when you get coverage, it'll count for the whole year. So if you're signed up by the end of the year on a high deductible health plan, that could make you eligible for the entire year's contribution on an HSA. All right, so again, look at the details. Those are the major points on everything you need to be eligible to have a health savings account. Again, the biggest one is going to be, for most people, having a high deductible health plan. So let's talk about what that means. What does high deductible mean? It means that it's a higher deductible than most other health plans. And the IRS specifically defines that. For an individual, your deductible needs to be at least $1,350, $1,350. For a family, your deductible in your health plan needs to be $2,700, $2,700. That's what you owe the deductible before the insurance really starts kicking in. Now, your insurance can cover some routine health care before the deductible. So things like annual visits or the kids' annual visits or immunizations, that can be covered before the deductible has to kick in. The other point is that the maximum out-of-pocket is also defined by the IRS. So for your high deductible health plan, maximum out-of-pocket for a individual is $6,650, $6,650, and for a family it's $13,300. That's your max out-of-pocket, and the IRS defines that. Now, for most people, if you have a high deductible health plan that is eligible for an HSA, it's going to say that. All right, so they want to promote that this is a high deductible plan, it's eligible for an HSA, so you're going to know that kind of right on the front, right up front. But in this video, I've described all the major points on who is eligible for an HSA. And again, the IRS controls that because you're getting major tax benefits on using an HSA, which we're going to talk about in an upcoming video. So be on the lookout for more in this series of the health savings accounts. I hope that answered questions on who is eligible for opening and contributing to the HSA, and have a great rest of your day and rest of your week.